back to Moorhead Talks. We're here interviewing all three Moorhead mayoral candidates before the upcoming November election. Today, we have Mr. Nuzad Brifke. Hi, Nuzad, how are you?
Good.
Well, you were just telling me a little earlier that the campaign's going well.
Yes.
Just for viewers in general, people are going to see this all over the place. Give them a little bit about yourself, a little short biography.
Sure. My name is Nuzad Brifke. I have been in Moorhead almost my whole life. Since 1992 is when my family arrived here. I graduated from Moorhead Senior High. I got my undergrad at MSUM. So go Spuds, go Dragons.
There you go.
But I do support other college institutions, the Cobbers in our area,
sure.
M-State as well. I have a family. I am married and have 3 children, 2 girls and a boy. Paven, she's in 1st grade at Dorothy Dodds.
Nice.
Lauren is 4 at Probstfield.
Okay.
And Parwar is at home with his mom.
Wow. Young kids, that's a challenge right there.
Yes. I run the Kurdish Community of America, have been doing that since 2008. I also am a consultant. I'm an author of a book called My Journey to America.
Right.
It's about how my family came here and me growing up here and the experiences and the gratitude that I have for this country and for what it has given me. And also a part-time school teacher for the Moorhead Area Public Schools, so I try to help them out when I can.
All right. Well, you're definitely a Moorhead boy, so.
Yes.
And so now, growing up here all your life, you obviously have some ideas on this stuff. In Moorhead, a lot of questions on the whole thing, but what are your 3 points that Moorhead maybe needs to take care of that you see, also challenges, whatever it might be?
Right. Well, I see the 3 things that I see right now is businesses. We're not a business-friendly community. We're not listening to what our current businesses' needs are. So I think as the new mayor, I would do that. I would sit down with our current businesses, seeing if everything that they're needing is being met. Are the taxes too high? What can we do to help them grow and have a better friendly business environment? At the same time, we got to attract new businesses into our area. We got to fill these empty buildings. And you know, with this comes with a business background, and I have a business background. I have my bachelor's in business administration, and I have my MBA in business administration. I'm a small business owner, so I know how it is to run a business, and having that background will be a great asset for Moorhead. Second, downtown. Our downtown is really not alive, and we need to have a little kick into it. With that comes with a vision, a plan. What do we want? And that's introducing more entertainment. We need more bars. We need more restaurants, whether they are ethnic restaurants or not. More entertainment. We got to give a reason for our high school kids to come downtown, our college kids to walk from campus because it's close by, and senior citizens. Give everybody something to do. I'm not saying, lots of bars and clubs. No, everywhere you go, there will be something different for each person to enjoy yourself. And third, Moorhead is a bedroom community to Fargo. I'm tired of being, not just me, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you're a Moorhead resident.
I've been a Moorhead resident. Right now I'm in Fargo.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I've been both, though.
Right, and I'm just tired of being in second place, and heck, even third place. Look at West Fargo.
Right.
They're growing very much, and I want to change that image. Minnesota is a great state, and Moorhead being the gateway to Minnesota, right next to Fargo, is just our image is really bad, and it's a bedroom community, and it's time to change that. And with that change comes with the right leadership, because we can't have just a regular mayor going in, having an agenda, and see you later. Thanks for voting this and that, city council members. And no, there's got to be a plan. Where do we want to see ourselves in 4 years? Where do we want to see ourselves in 8 years?
Right.
So these are some of the things that I think these are the top 3 challenges.
Wow.
Even though there's more. We have a lot of issues and need a
sure.
lot of improvement, but since you asked me 3,
No,
those are 3.
those are 3. Yeah, we don't have time to go into a lot more than that, but
Right.
those are pretty strong, three pretty strong ones. You know, not without, you know, letting the cat out of the bag or anything like that. What are some ideas generally that you'd have to try to correct some of that? What do you think you could do a little beyond what's currently being done?
Well, to be honest with you, like I said in the beginning, with the current businesses, I would, you know, sit down with each of them. What do they need? What can we, as a city, provide them to you know, for their business to stick around?
Sure.
And as a mayor, I would research bigger corporations to come into, you know, to take advantage of our empty buildings, whether it's call centers, whether it's, you know, warehouses that, you know, for bigger chains like Google, Amazon. You know, it might sound like a crazy idea, but it's a possibility.
It is a possibility.
All it takes is a phone call.
Yep.
All it takes is a meeting, and meeting with these owners of these buildings. What do you have for the next 4 years? What kind of project are you thinking? Are you going to do something with these buildings? And if not, they don't have nothing, what kind of tax breaks are they getting?
Right.
You know, we need to look at that, because we can't continue to have them just use it as storage units and nothing being done. So I would do that. A lot of chit-chatting and a lot of energetic moves that I would make, and plan. I have a plan in action. I mean, in the next 4 years, this is what I'm going to do. This is the areas where I'm going to tackle. I'm not saying I have the magic wand and I'm going to fix everything in the next 4 years, but with my background, with my ideas, with working with different people, I believe, you know, we can include everybody in different sectors, whether you're in business, the arts, whether, you know, you're a community center or whatever it may be. If you play a role in our city, you're going to be included. And at the same time, after that, how do we unite? By including everyone, uniting together to solve the many issues that Moorhead has, to improve, to be a better city. You know, that's how I would go about it, to be honest with you.
No, that sounds great. Now with, you know, with that talk, I mean, a lot of people, unfortunately right now we've had, you know, Moorhead's had its ups and downs, so it's easy to take shots here and there a little bit, and we certainly know the forum has, but a few others. But what are some of Moorhead's also advantages? I mean, what are people missing about Moorhead right now that are really just needs to be trumpeted a little bit more?
Right. Moorhead is a good community. I mean, despite some of our issues and disadvantages, we still got some good things going for us, such as education. We got 2 big universities and a smaller college, M-State, MSUM, Concordia College. These are fine institutions, great education. You know, we have a diverse group of students from not just all over the United States, but all over the world. And that is something unique. I got an education from those, you know, from MSUM, from M-State, and that, you know, I'm running for mayor now. So, and K through 12 is just, I'm a part-time school teacher. It's incredible. We have a very good education system, and I want to continue as the new mayor to support that. What's missing and how we can provide, as City Hall, provide our schools better equipment, up to date in today's world. Because today's world is very fast moving, and we need to keep our students up to date in everything. And so those are some of the good things. Another thing is we're a safe community. Our law enforcement does a great job. And I want to continue to support our law enforcement and to give them the right equipment that they have and that they need to continue doing their good job.
Well, no, that all sounds good. Now, we covered stuff pretty basically. Is there anything else you'd like to add to all this, kind of wrap it up?
You know, like I said, there are some good things about Moorhead. I mean, if Moorhead wasn't good, I wouldn't be living here. But we also have many issues. And we can improve a lot. And I'm just asking the people of Moorhead to give me a chance. Give me 4 years, and I won't prove. I'm not saying I have the magic wand to fix everything, but compared to my opponents, this is a nonpartisan race, and my opponents are showing that they are working for their party, and that's unacceptable. Moorhead has a lot of issues, Moorhead needs a lot of improvements. And I News Brifke will hopefully bring change to our city and will improve many areas. But I can't do that without the community's support. So you can be a part of this, you know, this change. If you want something new, if you want Moorhead to head in a new direction, then vote for me on November 6th.
All right. Very well said. News on Brifke, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it.
We'll look forward to seeing what happens in a couple of weeks. And, you know, don't wear out the shoes knocking on doors.
Yeah. it's my third pair of shoes.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. We'll be back in a little bit.
The Red River rises and floods often in the spring and sometimes even summer, but Moorhead has addressed community flood risk and now has great flood protection.
Moorhead's made the investments over the last 4 years so that never happens again. The flood can be managed and not be an issue for the residents that live here.
Moorhead invested in flood protection, so now Moorhead is out of the sandbagging business. Only a few areas, and soon to be less than 30 properties in Moorhead, require flood insurance. Levees and flood structures that protect Moorhead neighborhoods are soon to be FEMA certified, exempting those properties from required flood insurance. Keep that flood insurance money in your pocket. New homes built in Moorhead subdivisions do not require flood insurance for federally insured mortgages.
So if a person did not have to have flood insurance on their home, instead of buying a $200,000 home, they can buy nearly a $250,000 home and not have their payment increase.
Well, Moorhead's got a lot of very nice developments. So it is really a neat community to live in.
Welcome back to Moorhead Talks. We're conversing with all three Moorhead mayoral candidates, and with me today is Brenda Elmer. Brenda, hi, long-term council member. And we're just going through the same questions that we have for each candidate, just so everybody has the same, you know, perspective and they can answer from their own perspective. So first thing is, just for viewers that may not know you very well, give us a little bio of you.
Sure. I've been on the city council for 2 terms, as you've noted, and I serve as the vice mayor. I get to fill in for the mayor from time to time. My background is I grew up about an hour south of the Fargo-Moorhead area on a farm, so that's where that work ethic comes from. Of one of 6 kids, put myself through college up here at MSUM, where I met my husband. We have 3 school-aged kids in the Moorhead Public Schools. Aside from my city council public experience, I've been very involved in our community, whether it be through Cub Scouts. I serve on the Kiwanis board. I've served on a number of local and statewide boards as well. So public service is kind of in my blood. I'm a small business owner as well.
Okay, great. Well, we've been talking about some things over the years, and we've talked about this on Moorhead Talks before, but you know, the big question is Moorhead's got some challenges, and we just wanted to kind of boil it down. What do you think are the 3 main challenges Moorhead has? Sure.
I get to limit it to just 3, right?
Yeah.
And some of them are related. They really are. First and foremost, when I'm door knocking, and you know, what I want to work on is what people are telling me at the door. Yeah. And the number one thing is they want a stronger business climate. They want more businesses. They've been concerned at some of the larger retailers that have closed up shop in the last year and a half. I looked at those critically, and they seem to be a national retail trend, not necessarily Moorhead's business climate, but I have some ideas there. So strengthening the business climate. I also think another challenge is to strengthen our tax base and diversify it. It's always a struggle at budgeting time, even just to take care of the resources and programs that we have, let alone do anything new. So that's related to the business climate. And then also related is our aging infrastructure. We have a lot of needs that need to be addressed, updated, fixed, and that takes money as well.
Sure.
And you want me to talk about how to solve them?
Yeah, that'd be the next question. Is what are some of your ideas for solutions?
Right. On the business climate, you know, we've made great strides in the last 2 years especially. And what we're seeing, the momentum in our downtown is not by coincidence, it's by design. And it's policies that the mayor and council have put into place. It's revamping our tax incentives to make them a little more practical, I'd say. It's a culture change at City Hall It's good customer service, but it's also the relationship building that I and others have had throughout the community. It's extending that invitation, the saying, you know, why don't you consider developing in Moorhead, or would you ever, you know, do a project in Moorhead? And I know that some of my other colleagues do that as well. I'm constantly reaching out, trying to get them interested in Moorhead. But also related is, you know, we have some significant differences in our business climate due to state policies, which we can't do a lot about, state policies and taxes. And that does impact our business climate. And we are part of a Border Cities program at the state level. It does help reduce some of that. It doesn't help eliminate it. There still are disparities. I have some ideas on kind of how to supersize that program at the state level. I did work at the state legislature for a couple of years right out of college, so I know the legislative process well. I still have some connections on both sides of the aisle there. I would use that a little more assertively on behalf of Moorhead to help address those differences. And then that will also help us on the revenue end, strengthening our business climate, because I mentioned the aging infrastructure is also a concern. And one of the things when our city manager started here about 1.5 years ago, I and others said, as you go out in the community, introduce yourself, meet with different folks, you know, ask some of those larger public entities, because we do have a number in Moorhead. They bring a lot to the table, but many of them are also tax exempt, so again, related to the budget. But they make great partners. And so ask them, you know, what's on your wish list for the next 5 to 7 years or so as far as facilities and amenities. Then we get into the infrastructure issue. Find out if we have any common ground. So a more assertive approach to partnerships. And she's done that, and there's a lot of excitement. So she's kind of been our ambassador in that sense. And so we're actually moving ahead on some possibilities. We have a needs assessment, for example, in our upcoming budget for an aquatic center. And that all ties into everything else, because young families tell us especially they want amenities in Moorhead. They don't want to have to drive to West Fargo to go to that aquatic center. That's going to help strengthen our tax base by bringing new residents to Moorhead.
Well, that's great ideas. And what are, you know, we've talked, obviously everyone wants to talk about the issues with it, you know, and some of the negatives or perceived negatives. What do you think are some of the advantages that Moorhead has?
Absolutely, and I've long said, you know, we shouldn't strive to just be a smaller version of Fargo. We have a lot going for us. We're the education community. Our colleges are at the table on a lot of fronts, whether it be members of their administration. My ward includes Concordia College, so I talk to college students often about issues including parking, sustainability, rental registration are a few issues that come up. But to engage them even further, I think that would make for a more robust community. And so that's something we have going for us, the proximity of our colleges, the large population of people who work there, who study there. We need to embrace that a little bit more, and I have some ideas there. You know, we're sort of becoming an arts community in the metro area. We've made some advancements in the last couple of years. We're hearing from some artists in particular in downtown Fargo, where maybe rents are rising. They're starting to look at Moorhead. We want to be welcoming to that. And so, you know, we do have a couple advantages there, and we need to identify that, strengthen that, and go with it.
No, that all sounds good. So what, you know, there's a lot of ground to cover. We're doing these as shorter segments, but what would you like to just add on, and what would you like to wrap up with?
Sure. I mean, it's election time. You hear a lot of, I want to do this or I want to do that. And we've had a lot of turnover on the city council, in my opinion. And it looks like we'll have quite a few new council members as well, given this year's election. So, I mean, the mayor of Moorhead is not only a leader for the city, but also a leader within the city council. And so, you know, I have a strong record of accomplishment in all of those things we've talked about, in relationships to strengthen the business climate, into, you know, being an ambassador for our community, thinking outside the box, bringing additional resources to the city to stretch what we do already. And so, you know, that experience and knowledge, I think, will help me to hit the ground running. And so, you know, it's more than just ideas, it's actual accomplishments.
Well, that's
Yes.
that sounds great. Well, Brenda, thank you very much for your time, and voting again, November 6th.
Vote November 6th. People can look me up on social media at Brenda4Moorhead, and that's the number 4, or on my website, brenda4moorhead.com.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah. Look forward to you on election day.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks.
Tony.
MCAM is Moorhead Community Access Media. MCAM broadcasts the governmental and public access channels for Moorhead and also features full video and media production for you. Individuals and businesses can take advantage of low-cost media production and help support MCAM's public outreach. Featuring classic TV shows and movies and local programs, instructional and religious shows, music, and public announcements. MCAM has something for everyone. Access your community with Moorhead Community Access Media. MCAM.
Well, welcome back to Moorhead Talks. We're speaking with all 3 Moorhead mayoral candidates, and right now we're talking with Jonathan Judd. Hi, Jonathan. Nice to meet you.
Hey, very nice to meet you, Tony.
Well, you know, for audience members that don't know you very well, give us a little biography about who you are and, you know, your connection to Moorhead and everything.
Okay. My name is Jonathan Judd, and I've lived in Moorhead now since 2002. I graduated from Fargo North High School in 1990, and I attended North Dakota State University thereafter, and then law school at the University of North Dakota. So I graduated from there in 1999. Since then, I have clerked for a judge down in Morris, Minnesota. I worked in the Twin Cities for the Minnesota Department of Commerce. And then when I moved back up to Moorhead, I worked at the Multicultural Affairs Office at Concordia College for a few years. And then thereafter, I worked as a public defender. I worked at the Clay County Attorney's Office prosecuting. And so now I'm back doing defense attorney work here in Moorhead. I'm married. I have 3 children. 2 are at Horizon Middle School. One is at Robert Asp. And I also now I'm still volunteering in a couple of nonprofits in the area as well. So pretty busy right now.
Oh yeah, very busy, and with a candidacy going on too, they're very busy right now.
Yep.
Well, you know, Moorhead's had a long history of things, and there's been some contemporary issues everybody's talked about. What do you see are 3 of the top challenges that Moorhead has to deal with?
Well, I think the top 3 in my mind would be, 1, what are we going to do about our downtown? I know that's really been on everyone's mind. Also, I think with that would be growth. And how does that, you know, look as far as us, as a city, from a business aspect and from a citizen aspect, a resident aspect. I also think our city services and what that looks like as we're revitalizing downtown and growth, and what does that look like for us as a city. I think in looking at briefly those challenges, I think with downtown, I think it's really important for all of us as citizens to really find out what is our identity. And by examining that from a residential aspect and also from a business aspect, we need to kind of figure out what downtown looks like and how that could be diverse as far as being able to get people who are 8 years old to have fun here and enjoy it, all the way up to 80. So I think doing an examination of who we are and what our identity and our own community culture, we have to make sure that those businesses are successful. Second line goes in with the growth aspect. You know, I've knocked a lot of doors and obviously got a lot of opinions. And so you have some individuals that are really big on downtown, and then you have some that are really big on neighborhoods and communities, and having really a vibrant downtown, but also having the option to stay local within our own communities. And so with growth, we need to figure out what does that look like. And obviously with, you know, 40-something thousand people, that's gonna have a various amount of opinions. But I think you have some that want us to, you know, grow quickly. And then you have, I think a majority that want us to kind of slow it down a notch and be mindful about what our city looks like, not just now, but what it will look like 20, 30 years from now. And then obviously the third component is city services.
Right.
And obviously with growth comes more need for services. We have a high quality of life over here. It's something that I think everyone wants to maintain. People live in Moorhead for that reason. And so we want to make sure that as we grow, and being mindful of, you know, what our identity is, and once defining that, how we want to grow, what effect is that going to have upon our infrastructure and our city services. So we want to make sure as we grow, the quality of our city services are not diminished in the process. Right. So balancing all of those three is really the one big challenge, I think.
Okay. Well, and then to that end, what do you see as some of the possible solutions? You know, not giving out any, you know, major plan or anything like that, but what do you envision as some of the solutions to that, some of that?
Well, I think it really comes back to having a community conversation about, you know, who we are and what our focus is going to be. I know a lot of people, again, from door knocking, looking at who we are as a city. We are a city of nonprofits. We are a city that has 3 fine educational facilities here. You can add, you know, 4 if you want to include the high school, based on our academic success, our arts, which goes into that. We are a city of arts. We have music. I mean, we have, again, we are known for being an artistic, you know, town. And again, I think that's a good thing because, one, if you have high educational facilities and colleges and high schools here, people want to move here. Right. And that's a positive. Right. That's a big, huge selling point. I also think that what we could also promote is the fact that our tax rates over here, at least when purchasing a home, I mean, we're definitely coming out on the better end of that compared to our neighbors across the river. Sure. So I think when you combine the educational aspect, the small town aspects that we have that people know and like here, and also our housing and how we, you know, are affordable compared to other places, I think those are really big positives that we need to go on. I think our community also as a positive for businesses that want to look to doing business here, we are very loyal. Right. That's the one thing I really push, is that when people live here, they shop here. They want to spend their money here before they cross the river. Right. And I think that those businesses that are, you know, who have people and residents who are loyal to them, they also give back. So our businesses are really loyal to our community and really supportive of our nonprofits. They're very supportive of our athletics and our arts. You can't go to a football game or any sports game or anything with the arts without having a Moorhead business or several, you know, sponsoring something. Sure. So that's a really big positive here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those are, like you said, that you mentioned some positives in that respect. What are some of the other general positives that people don't think about, you know, maybe off the top of their head, but that Moorhead has, you know, not to dwell on negatives all the time, but what are some of the other positives here that you can think of?
Well, I mean, you know, I think really what encompasses everything is just our community. I mean, I think people tend to overthink it. And honestly, I don't focus on, you know, challenges or negatives because, I mean, the thing is, there's always something positive in a challenge. You're going to gain and grow from something. Sure. So I think when people talk about, you know, the challenges that we have, we, I think as a community, should embrace them, take ownership, and make something positive out of those challenges. And so I think what I like and what resonates with me here as a Moorhead resident is the fact that we have a very strong, loyal community. And we have generally great conversations and ideas that bring people together. And I think, honestly, we need to slow it down and not overthink a lot of these things and just start having more conversations and opening up about dialogue about, you know, some of these concerns that people may have and turn those challenges into something positive because we can only grow from them. If that makes any sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, and then to wrap it up, what would you like to throw out there for any message at the end, and what kind of campaign pitch would you like to make?
Well, what I will say, you know, about myself and you know, I'm just an ordinary person trying to do an extraordinary, you know, thing. And that's really sums up my life. You know, you know, I feel a really strong work ethic. I'm a first generation college graduate, you know, and I'm really truly blessed to be sitting here with the opportunity to serve the community. I've got a lot of background experience working in community involvement with nonprofits. I've served on city commissions. You know, I've really done my best to get to know the community that I love, to be supportive of the community that I love, and also to be heavily involved. You know, from coaching sports to serving on those commissions, I've met a broad amount of people, people who've had a really good effect on my life, and one of the reasons why that I'm running for mayor. You know, it would be an honor and a privilege to serve the people in this community, and I feel like I have the experience and I have the passion to really want to serve and do a good job.
All right. Just for everybody out there, tell us who you are again and to vote for you.
My name is Jonathan Judd. I'm running for mayor of Moorhead. For any other information about me and my background, I can be found on juddformoorhead.com on the website or Judd for Moorhead on Facebook.
Perfect. Jonathan, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony, for having me.
Good to meet you.
Likewise.
All right. Good luck.